I had no rescuer. I was crushed at this gate hundreds of times for 24 hours straight, and I've had no mentor except my own wits and skill on this particular fight. This is Big Benedict, and you're looking at God of War 3 on Chaos difficulty, and this is my no upgrade run plus. So all of my weapons are a minimum, and I was on this. This is day 1 footage. I didn't beat it until 3 days later, and I played it for about 8 hours each of those days. So it got me up there around 24 hours of toil and struggle and strife here. So what I did, because it just was taking too long, what I did was I activated, and this is just for full transparency, just so everybody knows what I was doing here. I activated the conch shell every single time just so that I could slay him and get to the first, not the first spawn, but the first get the first head sundered. So I used the Nemesis Rage, because this is not a skill. This is not a representation of what this fight is. This is just easy street here. It takes no skill to do this. This is killing the dogs with satyrs, and you have to multitask. So what I did was I simply, every time I died, I would just restart and use the Nemesis Rage to kill him within about 30 seconds rather than having to spend about 2 minutes getting to him, getting to the second of the 3 phases. So I personally can live with myself doing that. If you want to condemn the guide and you don't trust me, just realize that I didn't have to tell you what I was doing here, but I was. I did that because your skill is going to be tested on the second and third phases, not this. There's nothing that you need to be worried about here. So, oh man, this is really fucking hard, but it's not cheap and it's not unfair. It's just that it's the game asking you, are you good at this game? You say you're good at it, prove it. So once I kill the first form, I turn the godly possession off. But this is about 3 days later, this next clip, and it's so intense and fast paced that I said to myself, not only am I going to put that quotation in here, but I'm going to put every grab in slow motion. So this is going to be a very special video. Now, how do you handle this situation? You stay at the edge, and you can do the super plume from the powerhouse move from the side. What these guys are doing is, if you stand on the edge of the arena, like any edge, these guys will get kind of a loop of their animations. So I decided to immediately bust this out because the first phase is it just takes too long. There should be a checkpoint here, and I just decided to do this and then press the O button to get off of it, and then very quickly do the quick roll around. You have a couple of options here. You can do the quick roll like I do, but make sure that every time that the guy is going to charge at you, make sure that you guard. See, watch, guard and then do the quick roll. Don't just do the quick roll, otherwise you can get hit. And getting hit with this particular amount of health from a full amount, it's not full there, but if I had it at full, I would be down to 10% of my life. That's how damaging his charge is. So this is his second phase, and you see me jumping there, that's to provoke a taunt from the satyr. And then what I'm going to do is grab him, and he could eat that, you fucking bitch. Eat it. And then we're going to quick roll back. So I've seen and heard. I had to watch a lot of content to figure out how to do it, and in the end, I had to do it myself. And basically, I just took the main strategies that people were using, such as standing at the edge and then doing these kind of tactics. Some people will tell you, I'm sure in the comments you'll see people telling me that I should have done it this way or some other way. You know, I shouldn't have fired the arrows because firing the arrows will provoke him. But I just did this my way, and I got through it. It's very essential to guard there, so crucial. And But as you can see right there, I was standing at the edge and he charged, so it's not guaranteed. But it's something that you can use to manage the fight. So you want to be kicking the dogs back for the damage on these two guys. What else to say? Do not kill the satyr, this first satyr. If you slay the second head and get into the third phase with this guy still alive, then only one satyr will spawn. So you only have to at most spawn 2 satyrs. So we're rolling around guarding, and if you can get into a good loop where the Cerberus and the other guy's taunting, do the powerhouse move, the 5 squares, 3 triangles. I didn't like how in Ascension you couldn't input those moves unless you had the combo meter up. I was actually playing that recently, but when you grab a dog like that, if you're grabbed as a connect, you're dead. It doesn't even matter. Unless you have full health, then you'll be down to 10% health. But the grab, people might say that the grab is shitty, but to me, it is reliable. I have no problems with it. I'm not saying that this fight's cheap. It's just goddamn hard. And so this phase, we have 1 weakened satyr, 1 satyr with HP, full HP, and then the Cerberus. So at this point, in the third phase, what he does is he fires his fireballs more frequently than the other phases. So what I'm going to do is use the Hermes boots. And you see that? The reason I didn't launch him is not because my Hermes boots are only at level 1 of 2. It's because unless they're taunting, you will not launch these guys up into the air. So what does their taunting look like? It looks like when they're hopping, when they're twirling their blades, anytime like that, then you do the Hermes boots. See? Or you can just, what I do is hold the triangle button and pray that it works. So eat that, you fucking bitch. And then just go to the side. You see the Cerberus is trapped in his taunting animations, and then he got out. I'm not sure why that happened, but just, you know, if you want to do the jet canceling in the air, that's your own deal. I just like this. I feel this is the safest way to take care of these guys. So I think right there the triangle button failed me. Taste it, motherfucker. Taste that shit. There's so much to talk about. Like, if you come here and if you kill that first satyr and then you have to deal with these guys too, with 2 satyrs that are both at full HP, you're going to be in for a really bad hardship. But you have to remember that when they are in a more or less defensive posture, they won't get launched. And as you can see, they don't really attack you too ferociously or aggressively. So it's basically making sure that you don't get rammed, throwing the dogs back for arsenal, kicking a dog back at these guys or the Cerberus. It's more than what the arrows take away. So right about now, we're going to get one of these satyrs dispatched, and sometimes you'll get a little bit of health back from the dogs. But this is so hard because there's so few chances for mistakes, and right there I had a little bit of magic left. I really hope you guys don't think that I was cheating there in the beginning, because I'm one of those people who has a very high level of integrity, and if I can't look at myself in the mirror at night when I think about this project, I wouldn't have done that, but I can, because the true test of this battle, it starts in phase 2. It does not start in phase 1. Phase 1 is nothing. But when this fight was over, I didn't exclaim. I wasn't jumping for joy. I was relieved. My heart was racing, obviously, with the victory. But I came so close so many times to doing this that when I finally got it, I knew that I earned it with skill. And I hope that all these tactics are going to help you out. But in the end, you have to have the skill to do this. And I know that might be hard for you to hear, But if you've come this far, it's just a little bit further and a lot of stamina on your part. Just watch out for these fireballs. Remember, guard, and then roll. It's so crucial. But that's just how that's how I do it. I use, the rage. I used the Rage of Sparta early on in phase 1, and then I take out the weakened satyr and then the other satyr in this fight. So do the quick roll over here, and that nightmare is over.